Before I start this video, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Thanks a lot, homies. I also want to congratulate George Campos for spotting 3 of the hidden messages in my last video. Well done, dude. Keep up the good work, homie. I originally intended to make something comedic for you homies this time around, but I just couldn't get my funny bone going. Instead, I've got something really exciting for all of you. A super cool history lesson. Yeah! I'm sure many of you out there remember where you were on September 11th, 2001. But I suspect that quite a few of you have little to no recollection about the anthrax attacks that occurred immediately after that terrible event. Some of you may not even know what I'm talking about. 1 week after 9/11, letters containing anthrax spores arrived at the following media agencies: ABC, CBS, NBC, The New York Post, and The National Enquirer. 3 weeks later, 2 senators would go on to receive anthrax-laced letters. The letters sent to NBC and the New York Post said the following, and the notes addressed to the senators read, "Taken at face value, the text contained in each message would indicate that the perpetrator, or perpetrators, despised the United States and Israel while professing a die-hard Islamic faith." Well, I don't want to sound like a crazy old conspiracy theorist, but it sure seems like those letters and the accompanying anthrax contained within them would be awfully convenient to any, say, neo-conservative administration seeking to pursue the combined geopolitical interests of Israel and United States military-industrial organs. But we shouldn't jump to conclusions, homies. After all, if anything of a criminal or of a conspiratorial nature had occurred, surely our free press, fact-checkers, and upstanding elected leaders would have gotten to the bottom of things. So let's take a long, hard look at what went on behind the scenes. According to the FBI's Amerithrax report, a researcher at Fort Detrick, Maryland, by the name of Bruce Edwards Ivins, wanted to save a failing vaccination program by contriving to infect and terrorize members of the public with a biological pathogen. Unfortunately, nobody can say for sure, as Bruce Edwards Ivins would die of an apparent suicide in 2008, despite being under 24/7 surveillance by the FBI. His death was stated to have been caused by an overdose of Tylenol with codeine, whereas a summary of the police report released in 2009 indicates that he overdosed on Tylenol PM, an over-the-counter drug that contains no opioids. No autopsy was performed upon his body, and the FBI refused to comment on the situation. And let me assure you, homies, this rabbit hole goes much deeper. Let's go back even further, to the early 1990s. Once again, we find ourselves at Fort Detrick, Maryland, at the exact same research facility where Bruce Edwards Ivins would later go on to work. There's still a Bush in office, but this time it's George H.W., not Jr. Several specimens of highly contagious and deadly pathogens, including anthrax, Ebola, a variant of AIDS, and 2 unknown specimens that were still the subject of ongoing and classified research, were reported missing. An internal Army inquiry in 1992 stated that an employee of the research facility, Lieutenant Colonel Philip Zack, had been caught on camera secretly entering the lab in order to conduct quote-unquote unauthorized research involving anthrax. That same Lieutenant Colonel, Philip Zack, would later go on to practice infectious disease research for pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly and he would later work alongside the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease throughout the 1990s. A decade later, that same lab would be officially designated as the source of the anthrax spores used in the 2001 anthrax attacks. In July of 2019, that same lab would be shut down by the CDC for failing to safeguard against unauthorized access to select agents and for not maintaining an accurate or current inventory. 20 years earlier, that same lab was involved in an exercise of the type that's rapidly becoming all too familiar to those who begin scratching the surface of our shared reality. Dark Winter. And here's where it gets really weird. Some of the figures involved with Dark Winter all those years ago were also involved with Event 201, another pandemic simulation under the Trump administration known as Crimson Contagion, and the investigation into the 2001 anthrax attacks. One such individual, Robert Kadlec, recently found himself heading the response of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to COVID-19. In fact, the term Dark Winter was specifically taken from a statement he had made decades ago in regards to a hypothetical smallpox outbreak in the United States. He said, quote unquote, "It could be a very dark winter for America." But here's the real kicker. Way back in 2001, on the evening of September 11th, Vice President Dick Cheney's staff was told to start taking injections of an antibiotic that would hinder an anthrax infection. A journalist named Richard Cohen also states that he had been told in a roundabout way from a high government official to begin taking that same antibiotic shortly after 9/11. It has since been revealed that the individual responsible for telling these figures in the Bush administration to begin taking this antibiotic was a Dark Winter participant named Jerome Hauer, who had previously served for nearly 8 years at the U.S. Army Medical Research and Development Command, which oversees the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases Laboratory in Fort Detrick, Maryland. Hey Bertrand, I gotta go pee. Don't mess with the computer while I'm gone.
Alright, Devin, I won't touch it. I don't know why you guys think Devin is so cool. Nobody ever wants to know history from Bertrand's perspective. In fact, I remember 9/11 much differently than Devin does. There I was, waking walks under the hot sun, 'cause I had fought the law and the law had won. Dang, John Rambo, this United States government just doesn't understand men like me and you. All I wanted to do was hitchhike through the town, but the sheriff would not leave me alone. Oh, I know what you mean, Bertrand. Yeah, Vietnam, it scrambled my eggs real good, yeah. Yeah, that's right, John Rambo. Well, if it isn't the sergeant. I'm sorry for throwing you in jail, Bertrand. You and John Rambo are just two wild stallions that cannot be contained. Are we just gonna sit here talking about stuff that all three of us know all day, Sergeant? Or are you gonna get to the point already? Oh, good one there, Bertrand, yeah, pow pow. That's right, John Rambo. The nation needs your help, Bertrand and John Rambo. The terrorists have attacked us. The president has sent me personally to round you boys up and take you up out of this camp, send you all down to Afghanistan to fight the Taliban. Taliban Island in the middle of Afghanistan. We're going to find the terrorists and we're going to take care of them, because we have to get vengeance for 9/11. I guess it's at this point I should probably let you know that the Taliban were working with the aliens, and so John Wambo and I really had the mission cut out for us. Yeah, and then John Wambo and I, we beat the Taliban real good, and then because of that, the sergeant let us go, and we didn't have to go back to the war camp. And we even met the president, and he congratulated us, but he said he couldn't give us medals of honor because the whole operation was top secret. It was a black op. So if the president gave us if Congress gave us a Medal of Honor, then everybody would know that me and John Rambo had killed the Taliban, and we couldn't have that happening, so we never got the reward. But we did get to meet the president, but we weren't allowed to take any photographs.
Bertrand, you're not messing with the computer, are you?
Oh, I'm not messing with it, Devin.
Bertrand,
Hey!
you're not away from there. Move, dude. I can tell you touched the mouse, dude, because it's all greasy, and it smells like Cheetos. Gross. Alright, homies, so that's all I got for you. Till next time.